Welcome back, students and others who happen to find this video. Let's take a look at this in this video, how to create metadata in LanceBox-X. LanceBox-X, as we know, is corpus linguistic software. It's a toolkit that does a lot of cool stuff. Thanks to Václav Brzezina and his team at Lancaster University for making this software. So I'm going to show you how to make metadata in it, how to change a text so that it has metadata. So, for example, let's look at, let's go here first. Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water, right? Jack fell down, broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. So here we have a text. Apparently it was a reprint of John Newbery's Mother Goose's Melody in London in 1765. Cool. So here's some metadata about this text. We have the author, we have the place where it was published, or a reprint of it, and the date. So if I want to add that to my text, let's go look at our text over here. Here's Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, like I just read. What we need to do to change this so that it has metadata is we need to do basically 3 lines. First line, let's make a new line above there. We need to add what's called the XML prologue, which is the first line of XML documents. If you can't remember what that is, you can just Google XML prologue, which I did a second ago, and it led me to W3 Schools, a great website for coding stuff. And they have here the XML prologue. So I'll just grab that. I'll jump back over to my text here and slap it in there. That's line 1. So there's the XML prologue, or just the first line of XML documents there. Okay, that's kind of a set thing. The next thing you want to do is make a new line below that and add a new tag called text. And I would recommend immediately making a closing tag at the bottom of your text, right? As is the case with XML documents, you have to make, or XML tags, you have to make a closing tag on any opening tag. So I have the opening tag text and then closing tag with the slash text on line 7. Cool. Now this is where I put in the metadata, right in the opening tag, the text tag. So I come back in here and make a space after text, but within the closing angle bracket there. And then I'm going to put author equals double quote. We're going to put John, what was it, Newbery, I think I like that. Then we can put place, no comma after John Newbery, by the way. Place, London, and then we have, oops, no comma. Then we have date equals 1765. Okay, so the only thing I've done to this text is create 3 new lines. The top line is what's called the XML prologue. It's this kind of set line you put at the top of XML files. And then I have line 2, which is a new tag that I created called text, and then I put in the metadata, or the information about the text here, as what are called attributes. These are attributes with their values. Attribute value here within the text tag. And then you have to close your text tag at the bottom of your whole text. Okay, so that's it. That's all you need to do. I don't need to save it. That's all you need to do to create metadata. So once I import this into LanceBox-X, it'll be available. Now with a one-off situation like this, that's obviously not hard to do by hand like I just did in front of you. You may want to find some way to automate that process if you have a large amount of text, right? Using Python or Julia or R, some type of scripting language to automate what I just did. To give you an example of that, let's take a look at the Gutenberg corpus in NLTK. NLTK is a natural language toolkit in Python, and it has a little small subsample, like 10 or so texts, 10 or 15 texts from the Project Gutenberg website. And the way it's written out, the way it's organized, is that the text files are called last name, are named the last name of the author dash in the name of the novel dot txt. And so I can use that. Now I don't want to get in the weeds here, but I'm just explaining. I can use that information to create XML files that have the prologue there, and then I have a little metadata. I have the author and title of the current book, and then I actually grab the whole text, like the whole novel. For example, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. I have the whole text slapped in between the 2 top lines and the bottom closing tag there. So I'm just right here, I'm just simply creating a string that has that those tags. Again, just to refresh, these two tags at the top, or these two new lines at the top, and then this closing tag at the bottom. And then everything else is in between those text tags. So the whole novel of Moby Dick is sitting right there where I have Jack and Jill going up a hill. Okay, so that you can do something like that. And that's what I've done already. So let's go take a look here. For example, here's Moby Dick. Let's just look at it. If I open this up with, I guess I'll just open it up with the same software we're using right now. So there's my XML prologue, and there is my text tag with the author, Melville, title, Moby Dick. And then here, from lines 3 down to the very bottom, which is line 22,927, I have the whole novel, right? And then here's the closing text tag. And then once you come in here to Lancebox, we're in Lancebox itself, right? And you click on the corpus that's currently loaded. If you haven't loaded anything else, it'll be example corpus. So you click on example corpus, and you click on add corpora. And here we are. By the way, I'm using Lancebox 5.03. I assume this process will be similar in future releases of the software. And then you come to My Data, the second tab there, My Data. You give it a name, right? We'll call it Gutenberg NLTK. And then you find your files, right? On your hard drive, wherever they are. Here it is. You would find that directory and click OK, sure, open. I'm going to click cancel because I've done this previously. You do grammatical part of speech tagging, perhaps semantic part of speech tagging, right? Choosing your models for those steps. And then you click load corpus. It will take a long time. It could take some time to actually do it, especially if you're using like the transformer model from Spacey. That one takes a long time. And you click load corpus. Let me remove myself so I'm not covering up. Let's see. Yeah. You click load corpus right there at the bottom right of my screen to do that, to load it after you've specified the XML files. And then it would go through the process of loading it up, and then you would say close. And then it will be available for you as a corpus, as a regular corpus that you would use in Lancebox X. So you could do searches, right? If I search for whale, I'm assuming I'm going to see some hits from Moby Dick. Maybe they're all from Moby Dick. Yeah, a lot of them are from Moby Dick. Some from the King James Version of the Bible there. Okay. Now the cool thing about doing that, using that metadata, is you can create sub-corpora. So for example, if I come in here and say, let's make a new sub-corpus, and I want to grab Shakespeare, make a little sub-corpus of the texts that are written by Shakespeare in this corpus. And I say, let me just call this Shakespeare only. On the name at the top of my screen there, Shakespeare. Selected those, okay. All right, now I'm looking at Shakespeare. So if I look at whale and Shakespeare, it looks like Shakespeare did actually use the word whale twice in Hamlet there. And if I want to jump to this other subcorpus of Austen, the few novels that are in the NLTK corpus of Austen, actually there are no hits of whale. Let's try tree. How about tree? Okay, we got 10 hits of tree in the little subcorpus of by Austen, Jane Austen. Let me get down to there, make this a little bigger. Anyways, you can use these as little subcorpora. This is pretty cool. The ability to do this is useful. For example, let's say I wanted to go and do, let's see, why is it not responding right at this moment? You could do like keyness analysis. When you do keyness analysis, as you know, you have a target corpus and you have a reference corpus, and you can specify those subcorpora as the target and reference. So let me try that now. Let me actually see if I can get this going here. There's a key right there. So I went to the word tool. It's a little bit slow. I'm wondering why it's a little bit slow right now. Why is it kind of really slow? Anyway, I'm now in the word tool. You click on that key right there, right? And you can say the reference corpus will be Project Gutenberg. And specifically, I want it to be Shakespeare. And then you have to compute term list. Cool. go for it. That's fine. Computed term list for Shakespeare. Good. And there are the keywords for the whole corpus with Shakespeare as the reference corpus. Anyway, what I'm trying to get across here is that you can specify these little sub-corpora as if they were their own little corpus. Whether you want to do concordance search or look at the text themselves, or do look at the word tool and do keyness analysis, or even at the collocation, the graph call tool. So anyway, it's not hard. Again, let's just back up. If we do new subcorpus, it's not hard to create that metadata in the files and create XML files that then make that metadata available here. So you can do stuff with it and create a little subcorpora that you can then use however you want in your analysis in LanceBox. So anyway, that is how you can create metadata in LanceBox X. So let's jump back over to here. That's how you do it. Let's just review real quick on the process. The process is you take your text and you add 3 lines. The XML prologue, that's that first line that all XML files have. And then you make a text tag there. And then you put your metadata as attribute equals value. Attribute equals value here. And then you close down your text with the closing tag text right there with that / text. Okay, so it's not hard to do. Again, if you have a lot to do, it would be best to use some type of scripting language to automate that process. But actually doing it is not hard. All right, well, thanks for watching. See you next time.